So, what Aliyah Boston has been doing in Unrivaled is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And one thing I always say about Unrivaled is I don't really care how many points somebody scores. I don't care how many assists they get. And Aliyah Boston, albeit she did have 33 last night, it is how she's getting her buckets. Pick and roll, pick and pop, and she's passing the ball. She is acting like an offensive hub, getting the ball in the P&R, getting the ball on the pop, kind of doing a little bit of everything on the floor and just being a really effective all-around basketball player. As the thing is, she's being an effective ball player, which is huge. And again, when you look at players in Rival, there's a reason why I don't necessarily care that much about what Chelsea Gray is doing, because what Chelsea Gray is doing is pure dribble, back down, shot creation. Let's take 10 seconds off the offense and put up a shot. And I'm like, you are not doing that in a 5v5. When players that I'm impressed with, Paige's aggression comes and goes. When she's aggressive, yes, and she's been aggressive. She's had more aggressive games in Unrivaled than she had in her entire rookie season in the WNBA. Again, I don't really care that Arike is just going ham. Stewie's hitting jump shots again. Stewie is hitting jump shots again, which is at times, which is huge. Lexi Hall can't hit a shot, but is doing everything else well. Aliyah Boston is just doing everything well in general. Aliyah Boston has now turned into a legitimate threat as a stretch big. Aliyah last night had 33 points, and it wasn't just that she had 33. The way she hit those 33, it's like Kelsey Plum is not even in the stratosphere of pick and roll. Not even in the same stratosphere of pick and roll player as Caitlin Clark. She's good, but she's not in the stratosphere. But is there Aliyah Boston on this page? And by the way, I always shout out to this page. This page is the GOAT. Women's Hoops Network. They did not have they did not post the Aliyah Boston highlights, but at the end of the day, you are realistically going to get, when it comes down to it with Aliyah, you're getting the best non-Aja Wilson big in the W, and I'm very confident of that. She hit 3 threes yesterday. She hit 3 threes. And if you're looking at how she's playing, imagine when you put Caitlin Clark in this situation. Aliyah comes, gets the ball, pitches it to a guard, runs down the floor, sets the pick, screen, sets the pick, pop for 3, bang. You can, with that being a danger. And do you not realize how many times Caitlin Clark hits Aliyah Boston in this range here? If she's able to shoot from 4 feet back, that's worth an extra point. That is worth an extra point. She had 33-16. 4 assists, 1 steal, and 4 blocks. She's leading Unrivaled in blocks, which is impressive. And again, look, you're looking at her on her Instagram story. On her Instagram story, this is the perfect one. This is the perfect one. Boop, let me just play bully ball on Brittany Griner there. Are they going to go and call offensive foul? Are they going to go and call offensive foul on that one? It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But Aliyah Boston is just everything about Aliyah. This version of Aliyah Boston is insane. So Aliyah Boston, easy post move on Diarca Hamby. Comes back down the defensive end. She's guarding Hamby, which is not an easy matchup. Ray Burrell gets position inside. Aliyah Boston does a half-decent job not letting Ray Burrell turn. Dribbles the ball up the floor, gets it to Kelsey Plum. Pick, roll. Easy post move. And the thing is, you can't really double Aliyah. You can't double Aliyah because she's so much of a threat as a passer. She then... I won't consider that good defense. It's just bad by Diarca Hamby. But she completely outruns Diarca Hamby and scores 6 back-to-back. Not the greatest defense possession, but still, I don't really care. She mightn't play every defensive possession perfectly. That being said, it's one of those things where Aliyah for the fever. Aliyah for the fever, the Boston 3 party is a thing. It is a legitimate thing. Like, imagine how many wide open threes she's going to shoot with Caitlin Clark on her team. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how many wide open threes she's going to shoot? Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark combo is going to be legitimately unstoppable. Nobody is going to be able to stop this. I mean this. No one is going to be able to stop it. No one's even going to come close to being able to stop it. Because if you have to guard Aliyah on the 3-point line, it means you have to switch. And as long as Steph White doesn't do that bullshit she did against the Aces last year, where she was running away from switches. Like, I literally remember doing a breakdown. Someone was like, oh, they run this weird screen because that's the set they like to get into. And I'm like, yes, but it's dumb as fuck when they're switching everything. So what the Aces did was they didn't start on the right matchups, and they switched the first screens every time and then just switched into their matchups. And I'm like, they literally started Kirsten Bell. They started Kirsten Bell on Kelsey Mitchell. They had, and this is when the game Caitlin Clark played. I can't remember it. It wasn't Jackie Young on Caitlin Clark. It might have been Jackie Young on Aliyah Boston. And I think they started Kia Stokes on Caitlin Clark, and they just switched the fucking screens. Because, do you want to know why they switched the screens? Because that's literally, they were like, oh, well, we'll switch the screens and we know they're going to do it anyway. And it's like, oh, just go straight for the fucking post up. And then it was like a weird thing where they were like, switch. And I was just like, what is going on here? All we're doing is walking. I was like, all you have to do is cross the halfway line and the entire team is in a mismatch. And if a team's switching everything, if a team plays switch everything, any sort of like smart point guard, which Caitlin Clark is just going to go, okay, cool. Let's find a mismatch here. Okay, who's guarding me? It's a guard guarding me. Aliyah, come set the pick. Come set the pick. You're going to get a guard onto you. And then fuck everything else. We're just giving the ball to Aliyah. It was like last year or 2 years ago, when they put Tash Cloud on Aliyah Boston so that they could switch the screens, Phoenix. And it took legitimately a quarter before Chrissy Sides decided to give the ball to Tash Cloud. But yeah, it is what it is. But sure look, what do you when it comes down to it, it's impossible to guard the Caitlin Clark Aliyah Boston pick and roll without switching. Because if you don't switch, either you have to give up the layup for Aliyah, the 3 for Aliyah, or you have to allow Caitlin going downhill. And then if you do end up in a situation where you're not switching, you have to recover hard to Aliyah Boston. She can burn you off the dribble because she's quick now. Or she can take that dribble the opposite side, and you have to worry about Kelsey Mitchell cutting. And if the cut's not on, Kelsey Mitchell ends up V-cutting, coming back for a handoff, and Aliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell goes right to the layup. Like, the Fever don't need to overcomplicate the offense. 3 to 4 actions, that's all they need. It's going to be unstoppable. It's going to be unstoppable. As long as Stephanie White doesn't overcomplicate it because of some weird obsession with having Lexi Hull dribble the fucking ball in the motion offense.